Most men think cold approaching women out in the world is absolutely terrifying until they actually do it. And one of my clients had never approached a woman in his life. He always froze, he always hesitated, he always talked himself out of doing it. And well, sadly, this is the case for most men these days. They're scared of rejection, they're scared of being creepy, they're scared of doing anything wrong. But approaching a woman is not some death defying stunt, okay? And you do not need to be a master of charisma to do it. You just need a simple process. So, after his breakup, my client decided that he was done being scared. So, we worked together, he followed the steps, and within days, he had a date lined up. And these were his exact words to me. They said, "That was way easier than I thought. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner." So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 things that finally clicked for him so that you can do the same. Well, the first thing that I want to say about cold approach is this. It's fun, okay? This goes for men of any age, whether you're a young 20-something to a man in his 60s, 70s, whatever it happens to be. There's something inherently satisfying about being able to enter any environment, any room, any party, any get-together, any sort of situation, and having the confidence and the poise to just simply see a woman, walk up to her, and strike up a conversation, build a little rapport, and then ask her out. It's that simple. And, we're forgetting that just this act alone is simply just a fun thing to do. Okay, so I want to get that out of the way because we can argue all day long about, oh, well, women are this, women are that. And okay, that's fine. But women are still getting asked out. Somebody out there is asking women out. Why can't it be you? So let's go through the 5 things that my client really understood after working together that allowed him to go out into the world, meet a girl, ask her out, and take her on a date that was an absolute success. All right. So the first thing that he did was he learned how to do it. All right. Seems pretty obvious. Duh, you got to learn how to do something, of course. But I mention this because some men just simply take it for granted. A lot of men think that they must be born with the skill of approaching women. And if they don't know how to do it, they're just doomed for it. It's not for them. They come up with every excuse in the book. Oh, that's not my style. Oh, I prefer dating apps. Oh, I'm an introvert. Everything in the book. And let me tell you something. This particular client, he's definitely not an introvert, but I have worked with introverted clients who had the same mindset. We worked together, and boom, they did the same thing. They met women in public, in the real world, asked them out, and went on dates. It is possible, okay? So, first and foremost, learn how to do it. Learn the techniques. That's what he did. He learned the techniques, and he learned the thought process behind it to shift his mindset from being so afraid into being like, you know what? Yeah, that's all that it is. I can do this, okay? So number 1 is just learn how to do it. Don't be afraid to admit that you don't know how to do something. It's not a big deal. Number 2 is he put himself in a target-rich environment, all right? So now that he had the skills, he knew how to do it, he put himself strategically in places where meeting women was, there's a possibility of meeting women. If you put yourself into, if you go to a cigar club, and that's an all-men's cigar club, you're going to have a tough time meeting women, all right? Yeah, sure. Maybe every now and then there's a girl hanging out there. I've seen them. But it's just not really a target-rich environment. Now, this particular client happens to live in one of the biggest cities in the world, New York City. But that doesn't necessarily mean you put yourself in a target-rich environment. I've coached men from big cities around the world, and they oftentimes still talk themselves out of going outside, going into the world and interacting with people. There's always some bullshit excuse. So, you have to put yourself in a target-rich environment. And what he did, now even in being in New York, you still got to find good spots. He used his transportation method, which is the subway, which is obviously full of people every single day, morning, noon, and night, and used his environment to his advantage and met a girl on the subway. Beautiful little love story, right? All right, number 3 is he was direct, he was decisive, and he knew that he had to build rapport with her. And so what do I mean by he was direct and decisive? Well, he didn't hesitate. He doesn't sit there overthinking. He was direct. He goes, boom, walked up to her, and he was decisive in opening up that conversation, deciding to take action, and he just went with it. Again, he had just learned these things. It wasn't like he was an expert doing it for years and years and years. We had just talked about this a few days prior, and he committed, and therefore he went out and did it. And again, part of what we teach is to be direct and decisive when you approach a girl, and also to build rapport. You have to kind of, have a little conversation. So we went through in detail, we role played how to do this on our coaching call. So he was able to, get good at doing this. And it worked to his advantage, because when he told me that when he was there, he's like, yeah, it just was like it fell into place. I just approached her, I said this, I said that, and before I knew it, we were having a really great conversation. And I was like, boom, that's perfect. Way to go. All right, so the 4th thing that he did, so he he went for the close, okay? Number 4 is he went for the close, and he got her number. Now, again, maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, duh, obvious, but it's not obvious, because this same client had many times before at different events, parties, things where he was interacting with women that clearly seemed into him. He never went for the number. He just was like, oh, okay, I'll just talk to her some other time, or maybe I'll get it from somebody else. He actually told me, he's like, oh yeah, I was going to ask my friend for her number. I'm like, no, you don't do that. A masculine man, a masculine leader doesn't sneak around and ask other people for their numbers. You go for it in person. Just have some balls, be a man, and just ask for her number. Maybe you'll get rejected, maybe you won't, but you gotta be, you gotta go for it yourself. So that's what he remembered to do, was go for the close. A lot of you guys will sit there chit-chatting forever, hoping she asks you, or hoping maybe she says, hey, we should hang out sometime. That ain't how it works. That's not how it works. And yeah, sometimes it can work like that if she's really interested in you, but don't get lazy. Don't get into that habit. Get into the habit of you being the leader, you going for the number and doing a number close. Okay. And then finally, number 5 is he made the date. He didn't just leave it at exchanging numbers. He learned how to set a proper date. He learned how to ask a girl out, how to arrange where to meet, how to arrange, what to do to avoid flakiness, to avoid ghosting. And like I said, I was with him, 100% of the way. He did, I taught him how to do it. He went out and did it. But obviously, since I'm his coach, I walked him through. He would message me, here's what I did. Okay, here's what I did next. And then I said, okay, well, here's how you should respond to that situation. Here's what you do here. Here's how you set this up. And we go boom, 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 boom. And like I said, within a couple of days, he had already had the dates, or was already meeting her. He met her, I don't know, on a Saturday, Sunday, and the date was on a Wednesday. It's like, boom, that quick, that easy. So it's pretty cool, and, you can tell me, and we can talk and discuss all sorts of things about the dating scene and the dating market and da-da-da-da. That's fine and dandy. I'm not denying that stuff. There's crazy stuff going on in the world, sure. But you cannot deny that being able to be a man who can, like I said, has the confidence, has the knowledge, and has the ability just to simply walk up to a woman that he's interested in, strike up a conversation, get a number, and then boom, have her sitting next to him at a cocktail bar somewhere at night. She's got her nice perfume on. She's got her nice little skirt on, a pair of high heels, and you did that. You took that chance. You saw her. You went for it. You lined it up, and boom. In a couple of days, you're sitting next to this beautiful girl that was sweet, that was excited to meet you, that gave you her number, and you guys have a great night, and you've made a great memory for her and for yourself. Now, of course, not every woman is going to say yes. No, absolutely not. But when you apply these 5 simple steps and this type of a thing, you're going to get there. It's a lot easier to get there than if you don't try it at all. Okay. Now, of course, there's little nuances here and there within those 5 steps. I'm not going to go into that now because, that's something that's more of a one-to-one situation. But anyway, guys, I really hope that you guys haven't given up on talking to people in real life, approaching girls in real life, and not thinking because I know on Instagram they have a lot of videos of guys wearing the meta glasses and walking up to girls saying these funny little lines, and those are fun. I'm sure they work. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to think, oh, I got to be that Mr. Riz guy, or I got to be super charismatic and just have every great line in the book and be super this, that, and the other thing. Nah, man, it's being direct and going for it and just asking her out after building some rapport. Don't overthink it. Get out into the world and enjoy yourself. What I do, what this channel is about, the sophisticated scoundrel, it's about living life on your own terms. It's about you calling the shots for your own life, not letting fear, not letting society, not letting, women dictate how you live. Sure, you'll get rejected sometimes. Sure, you'll come across a chick who's just a pain in the ass. Doesn't matter. You keep going forward until you get what you want, until you find what you want, until you're living the life that you want to live, no exception. Okay? So, if this is something that you want to learn how to do, if you want to, you're sick of being afraid, you're sick of not being able to do things that my client did, and he's just a regular guy. There's nothing crazy about him. But he put in the work. He committed to it and he put in the work. If you want that same thing, then click that link down below and let's talk. That's a link to book a free consultation call with me where I hear more about where you're at, what you're struggling with, and what's been holding you back this whole time. And if it seems like it'd be a good fit to work together, then I'll walk you through how my coaching program works and we will get started right away. All right? It is almost the end of 2025. A new year is upon us in about a month. How do you want to start that new year? This is a great opportunity for you to commit to a whole brand new you in this new year. Slots are filling up fast, though. I'll be honest with you. This week's been busy. Guys are, I've been talking to a lot of guys. I've been signing on more guys. I don't want to get too stretched too thin because obviously I do one-on-one. A lot of time is dedicated to the coaching part. I make these videos, but I also have to actually work and coach. So if you're interested, just click that link down below and book a call with me and we'll talk then. All right? That does it for today's video. I will see you in the next one.